Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode number 2 of the We Know Best podcast. I'm Zach, joined with my lovely co-host Logan. Today we have a couple of things for you. We're going to be recapping all the games from last week, also recapping our power rankings last week, which will be very different. We also don't know each other's power rankings, so we have no idea what we each other think of like the top best teams right now. Then we're going to be covering our new power rankings on top of all the upcoming NFL games. Logan, start us off.
That was a pretty eventful football week.
Yes.
To say the least. Talk about upset after upset after upset. So we already talked about Thursday night, so we'll skip that.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did. We talked about that last week.
Oh, you're right, because it was Patriot. Yep.
I'll start with Ravens Cowboys. Not to say I told you so, but
I fucking told you so.
Derrick Henry and Lamar combined for 250 rushing yards. They're smoking them. And the Ravens, in typical Ravens fashion, decides they don't play in the fourth quarter and almost blow it. That was the most stereotypical Ravens-Cowboys football game possible.
Yeah.
And that's basically all I have to say.
I will piggyback off of kind of what you said about the Dallas Cowboys organization as a whole last week. And we were actually talking about this a little earlier today. A new offensive coordinator in Dallas, they would probably, if they had like a Kyle Shanahan level play caller or any one of the 18 million Niners coaches that just like pop up out of thin air that all of a sudden create fantastic offenses. If they just had one of those, they're 3-0 right now. Even though they're Dallas's defense, pass defense is fine. Your run defense is brutal.
It's hard to be 3-0 when you can't get a stop to save your life. And it's not even that you can't get a stop. It's like 5-play, 70-yard drive, touchdown.
Yeah.
Consistently. It's not even any resistance at all.
And your pass defense is fine. It's the run defense that's killing you.
Yes. And while the pass defense is better than the run defense, the pass defense just hasn't got it exposed yet because teams haven't had to. But Diggs off the ACL is not good. The corner opposite of him is like a 4th-round rookie that is struggling in loose terms, and he might not even play this week. He is like full-blown game-time decision on Thursday night. So talk about Malik Neighbors getting ready to have a day in prime time. He's getting ready to have a day. This is after Trevon Diggs decided to come out and talk shit about him in the offseason. So that's going to be a fun matchup. That we'll get into later.
That's always a good thing to do.
Yeah, it is. But I mean,
yeah,
that's about all to say on that one. Honestly,
the Redskins have a really nice college offense. Just remember that.
That's basically what Diggs said on a personal level to Neighbors. Moving on, Giants Browns. We both called this one.
We did.
That's another
pat on the back. Pat on the back.
Maybe one of the couple pat on the backs that we'll get. But, I mean, I don't know. It kind of looked out like we were going to be terribly wrong on the first play of the game when the Giants fumbled the opening kickoff and the Browns score on the next play. It was like, well, the Giants are still the Giants.
Yeah.
But Daniel Jones is just competent enough to let Malik Neighbors eat.
Game plan for the Giants. Daniel Jones, snap ball, fuck it, Malik Neighbors is down there somewhere. And Malik Neighbors is a fucking stud. This dude is legit. LSU pumps out these receivers like it's nothing.
I will say Dayball does do a good job of using him in motion to allow him to get decent matchups and not be bracketed all game long. Because, the Browns supposedly had a good defense going into the year. Now, they haven't really lived up to it, and maybe that's mostly the offense's fault. But, he had a heck of a day against a at least league average defense.
Dude, that toe
worst.
tap touchdown was disgusting.
I mean,
There's only so many receivers in the league that can pull that off.
Oh shit! I mean, and then even talk about Daniel Jones, 24-34 for 230 and 2 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, if you can get that from him, I mean, you take that for sure.
Absolutely.
Moving on. Another interesting game with the Packers beating the Titans 30-14. The state of Tennessee has a Will Levis problem, and I think there's not much else to say there.
I don't even know if it's all Will Levis. He's been really bad, and he's had like an absolute meme-worthy Hall of Fame moment every single week, if not 2. But I think they have many more problems besides just Will Levis.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the defense seems good.
Yeah.
On paper.
I mean, you have to
now
think.
They might be another league average, but
I mean, you have to think Will Levis also threw a pick 6, which inflated the Packers' score a little bit more than they actually did on offense.
yeah.
And all I'm saying, we need to get rid of these fucking dog shit head coaches, because look what Malik Willis did in 2 weeks with the Packers compared to what Will Levis is doing now when they were on the same damn team last year.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching is arguably more important than the players on the team. And I think people are starting to see that now.
That is a massive theme this year. I mean, especially with Sam Darnold in Minnesota, he was left for dead. Going back further, Geno Smith was a career backup basically for
now he's a
who
stud.
The hell knows how long. I mean, and then he rises from the dead.
All I want to say is that he used to say he's always been this good. Stop the fucking cap. You used to be dog shit, and you know it.
Rex Ryan was his coach. Okay,
that's fair. Hey, Rex Ryan carried Mark Sanchez. That's all I'm saying. If you can make Mark Sanchez look good, but you can't make Geno Smith look good, honestly, I think that's more impressive.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to the next game, though. And this was a matchup of the just most talented quarterbacks, young quarterbacks in the league. Bears 16, Colts 21. Felt like this was, I don't want to say a fun game to watch, but interesting. I mean, the Bears had Caleb Williams throw the ball 52 times. I mean, their offensive line is ass, and they can't run the ball. I understand that.
And Swift isn't helping. I saw a clip on Twitter where he had a wide open hole, and he chose to go horizontal and to run straight into a D lineman instead of just hitting the hole.
I mean, Roschon Johnson is on the team, who was a middle round pick last year that people had a lot of hopes for. That
he looked better than Swift.
Fill a ton. Yeah, it sounds like this upcoming week it's going to be Roschon Johnson's show.
As it should be.
I mean, Caleb threw for 360 yards. He did have the 2 interceptions. One was on like a go ball, though. That was kind of, not that it's necessarily the wide receiver's fault, but I don't know. I mean, I think with both of them, him and Anthony Richardson, you're seeing the flashes. It's just, I honestly have more faith in Caleb Williams massaging out the mistakes than Anthony Richardson. Just with like, Anthony Richardson is 10 of 20 for 167 yards.
He's so inconsistent.
Either a bomb on the money, and that's it. The short intermediate routes, he cannot.
He'll either make the greatest play you've ever fucking seen, or he'll make the stupidest fucking play you'll ever seen, and there's no in between.
And this isn't a surprise, right? Like when he was coming out, you knew he had the Superman tools. It was just
he doesn't have the experience yet.
No, I mean, he's another one of those guys that's like played in like 15 games since high school or something. Like, it's just, there's not a lot of football time there. I mean, 10 years ago, this dude wouldn't even be on a draft board.
No,
because he hasn't played, and now like it's
but his upside is so high that you have to take a chance on him. And for the first 2 games last year, he looked really good. But this year, now that we've seen more of him, we're starting to really see his flaws,
Yeah.
which is his accuracy is so bad.
Right. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think the Colts aren't really in win now mode. They have time to let him develop, but the bad plays are very rough looking and it can be hard to watch. But that's with any rookie quarterback. It's
Yeah.
just going to take. Moving on to what I thought was the most surprising game of the week is the Vikings beating the dog piss out of the Houston Texans
Beat
34-7.
beat the shit out of them. They didn't stand a chance.
That was, I don't even know. That was a game where I definitely picked the Texans. I said the Vikings were fraud.
Too.
I mean,
I didn't think the Vikings were frauds, but I didn't see them. Like, I thought this would be a close game. I'm pretty sure I said it last week. I'm pretty sure I thought this would be a relatively close game, but the Texans were definitely going to win. The Vikings are fucking legit.
that defense, I mean, the Texans didn't score in the first half. 0. Goose egg. I mean, Brian Flores he got a lot of hate in Miami for all that he did there, but I mean, that defense is humming.
He knows how to design some plays and a scheme, and it works to perfect. He had CJ Stroud seeing ghosts.
I mean, and he did it the week before against the 49ers.
Brock Purdy even said, he was like, dude, your scheme's insane. So.
All right, let's move into another big-time game we kind of circled heading into the week was the Eagles-Saints. And I think we learned a lot about both of these teams and not a great direction.
No.
The Eagles won 15-12. Heading into the fourth quarter, it was Saints were winning 3-0. And Derek Carr, what I said last week, could very well turn back into a pumpkin. Derek Carr very much turned back into a pumpkin. I mean, the Eagles, we said it last week, the Eagles defense was giving up over almost 7 yards a carry. Well, Fangio didn't let that happen. They definitely stopped the run.
They stopped the pass, too.
I mean, in all reality, like, the Saints shut down the Eagles besides the one big Saquon Barkley run at the end of the game that won it. I mean, it was just like I think this Eagles offense is going to be concerning all year long. Maybe that is the Kellen Moore hater in me, but it has looked pretty anemic the past 2 weeks.
It's also it's 2 things.
They are banged up.
They're hurt. Not only are they missing AJ Brown, Devontae Smith got his head fucking taken clean off. I don't know how he's still walking.
Yeah.
And he's questionable this week, which blows my mind. And then I like Jalen Hurts, but here's the thing about Jalen Hurts. He makes some really fucking stupid decisions, and this is the first time he's had an offense that constantly uses motion and like unique-ish play design from Kellen Moore. Dak looked great under Kellen Moore. Herbert, for the 1 year he was there, looked great under Kellen Moore. Hurts has turned the ball over left and fucking right. Dude has like 5 or 6 turnovers on the season already. It's week 3. Whether it's fumbles or interceptions, he is not used to this system, and I think it's going to take a while for him to get used to it, on top of all the injuries of like all your big star players.
I just don't think this is a Jalen Hurts offense. Like,
no.
I don't even love the Kellen Moore offense. It's so much there are creative plays in there, but like the basic fundamentals, the basic plays in his offense is fucking 4 hook routes, and everyone knows you pick one, and if that dude's covered, there's not like more to the progression. Because if they got open, well, they're covered by the time you get there.
I
So
mean,
it's
nothing's worse than Matt Canada, though.
no, and I agree. Like obviously the Eagles play calling last year was a big problem for them, and Kellen Moore is probably an upgrade. The second part about it is us Dallas fans didn't mind Kellen Moore, but in these close games, his clock management, his we're gonna throw the ball with a minute 20 left and the team has one
Yeah.
timeout. And that seems to be a terrible pairing with what's the Eagles coach's name? Dumbass Jersey boy.
Sirianni.
Sirianni. Annoying face.
Jersey boy.
No offense.
He is a jackass, dude.
He's a jackass.
I hate that dude.
Eagles fans know it. And that's clearly his problem as well.
He really does embrace the Philly fuck you culture. Like,
which, do it. But
I get it as a fan, but as a head coach, no.
And that's what, when he took him to the Super Bowl, all the Phillies fans loved him. He embodies the city. Now they hate him now because he's not, I don't want to say he's not winning, but it's not looking pretty.
He's only winning because his team is fucking loaded.
And yeah. Did you see going in half, 30 seconds left, maybe something like that going in half? It was maybe less than that.
I did not because I was at work.
It's 4th and 1.
But you texted me saying the Eagles are fucking stupid.
It's 4th and 1 on the other team is 30. They line up in the tush push, do their little fake, hand it off to Saquon going the other way, and he doesn't get it. My question is, if he picks up the first down and you have 20 seconds left, 15 seconds left, what's the best that happens? One shot at the end zone and then you kick the field goal? Just kick the field goal to tie it. You haven't scored the whole half. Just take the damn points.
So I wanted to.
And then the one time he kicks the field goal is in the second half to kick a 55-yarder to give the Saints the short field to go score. Like, I don't know.
He's not a great coach. He's definitely carried by the sheer amount of raw talent that team has. They have a good O-line, top 3 running back, a good quarterback, probably the best receiving duo.
Put a number on that one.
I don't know where Jalen Hurts falls in the ranking. He probably top 10, but probably closer to 10. Yeah. Probably the best receiving duo in the league, or close to it, if not the best. A lot of defensive talent that they just haven't quite put together yet. Like, they don't know exactly.
I feel like Fangio will put it together.
Yeah.
Although they probably will always struggle in the secondary. And them not having a pass rush, apparently,
which
surprising.
Blows my mind with all of, like, their D-line is loaded. Absolutely fucking loaded. They don't have, like, a TJ Watt or anything, but when you have all, like, really solid, good guys on the D-line, how are you not getting any pressure?
That's my thing, too, is if you aren't getting pressure, Devin White is, I guess he dressed, didn't play, really.
Yeah.
Like, he might not be the best linebacker, but he's really good at blitzing from the second level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at some point, if you're like, hey, we're getting cooked, we don't have pressure, I don't know why the plan isn't to rush the passer with him at some point out of desperation, maybe.
Yeah. I want to quote the text you sent me word for word about the Eagles going for it. No, it's fine. I read it over.
Okay.
Eagles going for it on 4th down when there's 15 seconds left in the half. It's got to be the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And then Devontae Smith gets his head taken off, and he goes, Devontae Smith is dead. Absolutely dead. Just got absolutely fucking clobbered.
That was bad. Like,
I don't understand how he's alive.
Maybe it wasn't bad as it looked, but live,
because it's full speed, just slow motion. Looked bad.
You just see him go limp. Like, I thought it was bad.
I mean, he got sandwiched between like 3 people and like folded like an omelet. I mean,
I couldn't believe they didn't blow it dead.
Yeah.
He was then being pushed backwards for 10 yards.
And then here comes Randy fucking Orton. Just bang.
I mean, you saw it coming. Like,
yeah.
But moving on. Big time game from the Pittsburgh Steelers. beating the Chargers 20-10.
Steelers defense is fucking unreal.
And TJ Watt is a game wrecker of himself. I don't know if there's a player that I've seen just completely ruin games more than him.
Yeah. Or like maybe a prime JJ Watt when he first, his brother.
Ironic.
Yeah. But back when he was just, you had the game plan for, you didn't give a fuck about the rest of the defense. You said, where's JJ Watt lining up? Put 3 people on him. Mm-hmm. Same thing with TJ Watt now.
And this is another team that's putting Justin Fields in a situation to be successful as opposed to the dumbass Bears. But, I mean...
We're about to ruin Caleb Williams.
Basically, that was just 2 teams running the ball at each other's face for 3.5 hours.
And the Steelers did it better.
Yeah. I mean, but it was a very much close game. I mean, Chargers had or I guess it was tied 10-10 going into the 4th.
I mean, with the healthy Herbert... I didn't know going into last week. I said the Steelers were going to win this game. I felt like it was going to be relatively easy. I didn't know Herbert was banged up from the previous week. And then I also think that's the reason why they lost this game is because Herbert hurt his ankle, like re-aggravated his ankle. So they had to pull him. And then when you put in Taylor Heineke, you're cooked.
I mean, basically Justin Fields threw twice as many passes as Justin Herbert, which I know that is the Chargers' new scheme, but when you're running for 3.1 a carry, not saying you just gotta go full air raid, but
you gotta throw the ball some.
Herbert is back there, man.
Yeah, if Herbert's back there, like they have a better chance to win this game. I think he just doesn't make as many mistakes as Heineke makes holding onto the ball forever.
I mean, and then I think Heineke might have had 1 drive. He threw 2 passes. But moving on from that slugfest to another baffling game. Broncos 26, Bucks 7. And then this is a game I remember saying, I quote, Bucks, we don't need to talk about it. So we're going to talk about it now.
Pretty sure I said the same thing. I said Bucks by 1,000,000. I'm pretty sure.
This is a game I didn't even put on, and I checked the box score.
Like, what the fuck happened?
At 3:30 maybe, and I'm like double checking ESPN, like, do they have the scores backwards? Like, are we sure? I mean, I don't even know.
Buccaneers, what happened? You just lost to the Denver Broncos.
And that was a Bucs team that was kind of like they just went in and beat Detroit. I don't know if this was just a trap game coming off that and they just didn't show up. But, I mean, Baker threw 33 passes for 160 yards. And
that was Bo Nick's stat line the past 2 weeks.
I mean, he threw for 216. It's not like he was just – I mean, that's great for him as a rookie. But, I mean –
he didn't do the turnovers this week. That helped him out a lot.
Broncos run for 136 yards and 5 a carry. I mean, you're starting to see a trend where if you can run the ball, you're probably going to win.
That and what's weird is that you didn't see the flaws as much in the Bucs defense versus the Lions of all people, who have one of the best offenses and offensive coordinators in the game. Then they get exposed by the fucking Denver Broncos.
That's why I think it's just a classic trap game. Like, I don't know. Interesting note, though. Little position battle. Rachaad White just got paid a slight small bag that they can get out of after next season, basically.
And they should.
Rachaad White, 6 carries for 17 yards. Bucky Irving, 9 for 70.
And Bucky's not even this, like, insane athlete. He's just very smooth with the ball. Like, he has great vision.
Shifty. He's not a blazer by any means.
Yeah, but he has great vision, knows how to get out of some situations, and Rachaad White has never, ever been a good running the ball back. He's always been the pass catcher guy. The problem is you can't have just
that bad.
You can't just be a pass catcher as the running back one. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Like that's very much turning into an RB by committee and quickly. And I mean, Bucky Irving caught 3 passes in that game. It's not like he's some just, I don't know, Derrick Henry-esque type
Yeah.
that
I mean, they were
isn't going
raving about how Bucky Irving looked fantastic catching passes in the backfield all offseason.
I mean, and
He's really just
why are we
better at
not
Rashad
surprised?
White at everything. I
He's
mean,
a 5'10", 180-pound running back. He's going to be able to catch passes. Like,
yeah.
that's
It's part of the skill set. You need in the
yeah.
NFL, you need to be able to catch passes as a running back at
And
this point.
in this day and age, absolutely. Moving on. Another shocker. Andy Dalton throws for 300 yards and leads the Panthers to a 36-22 win over the Raiders.
So I'll start this one off. Do you know how, like, flashback to 15 minutes ago, when I said coaching is arguably more important than the players? Well, let me fucking tell you. Bryce Young fucking sucks. That dude is terrible.
I don't think he is. All right, I'm going to make a comparison.
Okay.
You go back, right? You're looking back at the draft class, right? And everybody goes back to the CJ Stroud playoff game against Georgia where he's just cooking. And they're like, it's obvious. It was there all along. Bryce Young did that shit throughout the fucking SEC all year without goddamn Jackson Smith and Jigba, without all these Ohio State weapons. It's like, it's physically there. And I don't believe the damn shit he's too short. Let me tell you, newsflash. The Alabama offensive line isn't any smaller than any NFL offensive line. Okay. And the SEC defensive lines aren't any smaller than the NFL defensive lines. They might be a
No,
little better for sure.
but I do think it hurts him. It doesn't help him. That's for damn sure.
For sure. But he's also been short his whole damn life. Like
But I just don't think his football is going to sound stupid, but I don't know how else to phrase it. I don't think his football IQ is NFL ready. Does that make sense? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. And when you're watching it, you see it. And the thing is, in college, he wasn't that guy, which is why you were like the coaching's dog shit. Now, maybe I will say Andy Dalton's been around long enough. He doesn't need some Carolina Panther coach to teach him how to play quarterback. Okay,
No.
he either knows it by now or he doesn't, and he clearly, from an IQ perspective, gets it. Bryce Young hasn't had anyone at the NFL level to do that. So
No,
I don't want to come out and say that coaching doesn't matter per se. But I will say, out of all the NFL players on Sunday, Bryce Young had the worst day out of all of them, and he did not step on the field.
I mean, you come off of, in the first game, I'm pretty sure he threw for 60 yards and two interceptions. Like 60 yards.
And,
like, you could dump that off on a check down route, and your receiver can get you 60 yards.
And I don't know.
Andy Dalton came in and showed us what the Panthers could fucking be with good quarterback play.
Okay, let's settle down. The Raiders.
I mean, I'm not saying they're going to go 13-3, but like.
My point is the Panthers likely have the number 1 overall pick in 7 months, 6 months.
Hey. New England's giving them a run for their money.
Okay, fair. They're both going to have top 3 picks, and this isn't a QB class, I think, where you're like, oh, QBs are going 1 and 2. Like, we need to be right there to take it, or we're not going to get one. Like,
prime trade back spot. If
you're in the top 3 or 5, you're probably going to get your guy. So, especially top 3. But, I mean, this could be a situation where Bryce Young played, I don't even know, 15, 16 games, and his starting career is over until he pulls a freaking, I don't even know, your Geno Smith and reappears in 5 years.
Yeah. I think he has a lot of issues. His accuracy was what he was known for at Alabama, and we have not seen that in the NFL.
Absolutely not.
He's not great at reading defenses
in NFL.
In the NFL, and I his arm strength is average.
Yeah.
So when you take all those factors into consideration and you put him on the fucking dog shit Carolina Panthers, you don't have a lot of chance to succeed. But then again, Andy Dalton just stepped in and had the best quarterback performance besides fucking Josh Allen, by the way. Or Jaden Day. Any of the Monday night games besides Trevor Lawrence just stepped in and said, I'm him. I'm the red fucking rifle, and I'm going to throw for 300 yards and 3 fucking touchdowns with a 80-year-old Adam Thielen who pretty sure just ripped his hamstring off the bone clean, and then Deontay Johnson. It's at some point it is coaching, and at some point, like, you're also just not that good, and I just don't think Bryce Young is that good.
At some point, it is Bryce Young's career and all these dudes' career. And if you want to stick in the league, these teams don't give a damn who your coach is. You're going to have to perform or you're going to be gone. And as we saw quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on, from talking about 2 dog shit quarterbacks to another dog shit quarterback. The Dolphins having to go with Skylar Thompson losing 3-24. I think we all saw that coming. Freaking McDonald has the Seahawks defense playing elite level against a backup quarterback with weapons. Guess what?
Doesn't matter.
The way I figured.
Without a quarterback, that offense is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also on Mike McDaniel. Like, I like Mike McDaniel as a head coach. I think he would. His play calling is often kind of soft. Even with Tua to an extent, it's still kind of soft. But you take Tua out, like, you take an average to maybe slightly above average quarterback out of that offense, and you see what they turn into with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Achane and all these fuckers. And they're not
they
good.
can't get him the ball.
Exactly.
But no team goes to their backup quarterback. And, like, we're not talking about any backup quarterback. Okay. Maybe Malik Willis is decent, but, like, Skylar Thompson isn't an NFL backup quarterback. Like,
and he's hurt.
Not that.
Apparently, he might not even play. They're going to be on Tyler Huntley.
He's about to get benched for a dude that showed up last week. Like, that's the level of bad he is. Not to kill the guy, but, like,
they should trade for Bryce Young and see if they can help him out.
I think Tua's coming back. That's all. We talked about that last
I think he is too. I don't think he should, but I think he's going to. But what I'm saying is, you take in Bryce Young, guarantee you if Tua comes back, one more concussion, he's toast.
Yeah.
Why not bring him? You won't have to draft one. Just trade a 6th-round pick for Bryce Young, because that's all he's about worth right now. That or like a bag of Doritos and like a Mountain Dew or something. But give him something.
Moving on. Rams coming back down 10 heading into the 4th. Rams win 27-24. This was basically if the hospital got a football game together, that's what we watched. I mean, both teams are decimated.
IR.
Yeah, that. And it's hard to, like, even take anything from the game when it's just this. Like, you want to, like I eventually will get to it, move the Niners down in my power rankings, but it's like, that wasn't the Niners that just played. Like,
Sean McVay masterclass.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and you got to give Matthew Stafford some credit. He's doing this with no weapons and no offensive line.
And Kyron fucking Williams. That dude's a beast.
Even he had 25 carries for 80 yards. Like,
and 3 touchdowns.
Okay, well,
caught one through the air,
from
though.
From an efficiency standpoint, it was not a good day, but which is to be expected when
O-line's
there's
hurt.
No weapon.
Off your 2 best receivers are hurt.
And, I mean, Purdy balled out. He was 22 of 30 for 290 and 3 touchdowns. I mean, it was just like, I don't even know what to take from this game. If this game was fully healthy, if Rams 27, Niners 24, like, maybe then, obviously, then you can really debate it and talk about it, but it's really useless at this point.
Yeah.
Lions beat your favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals, 20-13.
Hey, favorite team is a stretch.
I feel like the Cardinals are going to be that one just headache of a team where they're going to be competitive all year long, but they're still just not going to win a ton of games. Like,
I see them probably putting up what I think the Steelers will probably finish in like the 8 to 9 win category. Because like I think
Steelers are 3-0. You're saying they're going to win freaking five more games? Right?
Let's not forget when the Steelers
I know.
were 9-0
I'm
and
just saying
didn't even
5
make the
games the rest of the year.
playoffs.
We'll get to this later. Anyways, I mean, I will say the Lions' offense, as just unstoppable as it was last year, it has not been that this year for whatever reason.
Besides game one.
Besides game one. Who was that against?
The Rams.
Okay.
When both teams were fully healthy until Puka hurt his knee again 4 plays into the game.
I mean, old Dan Campbell gets the boys going, though. They start running the football. I mean, Dallas plays the Lions in a couple weeks. They might run for 300 yards.
The Ravens did run for 300 yards, I'm pretty certain.
I think it was. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't need to check the box score after I watched that one. It was just, you knew.
Make it 2 times. Instead of Lamar and Derrick Henry, you have David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
Oof.
But I will say, back to the Lions. That was basically back to the classic Kyler game where we kind of think he maybe took a step forward. Back to kind of there's the splash plays, and then there's just a whole lot of inefficiency, whether that's the offensive scheme or I don't know.
Yeah.
But
the Lions have a good defense, though, so it's hard to say.
But they just sell out to stop the run. Like, that should be a game Kyler should, I don't want to say eat, but like
do better.
Yeah, their secondary, like Branch is good. They got the rookie Arnold, but like secondary isn't great by any means.
No.
I mean, their front seven is definitely
their front seven
good.
is disgusting.
But just, and maybe the O-line got torched. That wasn't a game I was in my feelings about Dallas during, so I was not locked into that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then for the final game on Sunday night, the big time Kansas City referees win 22 against the Falcons 17.
It's getting out of hand.
And I keep wanting to say it's just a coincidence because all the ones before, like the Bengals one was like, that's kind of PI. Okay. You hit the guy before the ball got there. Like,
this Kyle Pitts one was definitely PI.
This one was definitely PI, and it's just not. It's in the end zone, not called. Like, that was outrageous.
Yeah.
Outrageous. Spinning back to the Chiefs, Travis Kelce, I don't want to say he's washed, but he looks like a 35-year-old tight end.
And he didn't really look like that. You could tell he was slowing down last season. Mm-hmm. This season, it's clear as day. He's getting up there.
And Mahomes comes out and he's like, oh, he's being double teamed. That's why we can't get him the ball. You know damn well he's been double teamed for the past 6 years, and that hasn't stopped nothing. Like, that's
he just can't get open as well anymore. He's just getting old.
And now you got the young wide receiver, Rashee Rice, that can go across the middle and do all the same things he can do, but better. Like
a speeding car.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting come December and next year.
As long he's on my fantasy team, I just need him. He's on all of them. I just need him to not get suspended this season, and I'll be okay.
That's
because I hate when good NFL players just fuck themselves.
Yeah. On the field, I only talk about on the field. He's a beast. Off the field, leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah. Dude's a stud.
But I will say, though, the Falcons to be 1-2 have looked pretty good, besides like week 1 when not Aaron Rodgers, freaking Kirk Cousins just looked like a statue in a cone in the pocket.
Now it looks fine.
Yeah, like, obviously, he's never gonna be a move-around guy, but
He never
he
was,
seems
but
to be kind of to a
yeah,
normal-ish spot, and I think that's definitely a team with a lot of new pieces as the years goes on. They're just gonna get better and better
yep.
in a weak division. Like, I mean, I think they could be a problem at some point, late in the season. Chiefs, on the other hand, are doing what the Chiefs always do, where they play like dog shit for 3 months and
They
win a
win
bunch of
anyway.
games, and you second guess them the whole time, and then they still win the Super Bowl. Like, that's the path we're in right now.
Yeah.
Maybe they're actually not that good.
The best Chiefs looked was week 1.
Yes.
I don't think they've really looked necessarily good the past 2 weeks, but they win.
Yep.
It's just what they
And the
do.
rest.
They just win.
Moving to Monday night, we'll get the lame ass game out of the way first. Bills Jags. I know you're going to want to talk about Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence fucking sucks.
I don't want to say, but
he doesn't suck, but like
I don't want to say he has no help, because that was bad.
he threw a ball to a dead guy.
I saw that. I did see.
Not that actually fucking matters, but it's
Trevor
just,
Lawrence is the first NFL player in history to throw an interception to a dude that died.
yeah. Jokes aside, that literally doesn't matter. It was a terrible throw. Literally anyone and their grandmother would have picked that ball off. But
The funniest part about it is the Bills ran this. They show it the same exact play, maybe 15 minutes before, and Josh Allen hits the dude in stride. Big chunk play. Trevor Lawrence comes back, has the dude open, and just launches it. And I want to give him slack or some loose leash, because Urban Meyer obviously ruined the entire organization, and the Jags weren't already this just well-run organization. And then Doug Peterson comes in and at least has common sense, and everyone's like, "Oh, Doug Peterson." At the end of the day, Doug Peterson isn't some hell of a head coach.
He's not Andy Reid. He's not Bill Belichick. He's not any of these guys.
But at the end of the day, like, this is on Trevor Lawrence. Like, this is...
He's been in the league for what? This is his fifth season?
Probably, yeah.
He hasn't broken out. He's looked the same every fucking year.
Yeah.
Like, he came in, and I remember all those years ago, I was high on Joe Burrow, and you were high on Lawrence. The only reason...
Different draft class.
I know, but like when they played each other in the bowl, but I think that game broke Trevor Lawrence. I don't think he's ever... No, think about it. Think about how good he was. When he lost that game, I'm pretty sure his stats took a dive. Not a big dive in college, because it's college. Like, he's going to ball out on Clemson. But, like, I feel like he took...
Do you think it was that game or the fact he went to the big leagues, and the big leagues is harder? Come on now.
I think it's both.
No. You just think he...
Because that was his first game he's ever fucking lost.
It's not the first.
It was. He never lost a high school or college game until they played that game.
And that just broke him?
I think it kind of did.
No, I think the NFL is hard, and the NFL breaks thousands of quarterbacks.
It definitely broke Bryce Young.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but Trevor just hasn't taken that step. I
agree with that.
I sent you this. Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence, since both coming into the league, Daniel Jones has played more games. He's lost more games, but he's also won more games. Their stats are almost identical.
And like, if not,
no one's
Jones are better.
And no one's talking about it. Like, I get it. He's 6'6", Prince Charming, greatest quarterback prospect of all time. But he's not living up to it. He's looked the same every year. You don't see those Trevor Lawrence flashes you saw at Clemson. He's just a 6'6" average quarterback. He has
And
all
I
the
think
tools, but he hasn't done anything with them. He looks the
that's what it
same.
reminds me of.
Oh God.
No, it's not an oh god.
Oh, okay.
Matthew Stafford. Not as in currently, but the
Even
arc, right? Former number one overall picks, aired as this super can't miss talent with extreme arm talent, and then gets to the NFL. Granted, maybe Matthew Stafford is in a worse situation, was with
I
the
mean, they
Lions,
went
I
fucking
guess.
0-16. It has to be a worse situation, right? I mean,
That's
you can't
what
get
Trevor
worse
did his
than
rookie
that.
year. That's what Trevor did his rookie year. Well, they win one game, maybe. But
No, they
like,
won more than that, I think.
no. Urban no.
Well, he got
No,
fired
honey.
halfway through the season. I mean, I
I-
think they did better after that.
But I just see like all the talent is there, and then it's not to the level of Will Levis where it's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
But it's to the level of like, come on, dude, what was that?
Or like,
Just way too often to where you lose.
or it's like
Now,
after 5 years, it's like, where's the improvement? You look the same. You're the same fucking guy that you
and
were
I
when
don't
we
want to keep
drafted you.
blaming it. I don't want to keep blaming it on coaching, but like that sounds like coaching when the dude has all the talent in the world and just can't get better. I will say maybe it's a Trevor Lawrence thing. Kind of like what you're saying, back to college. This is the dude that was, I don't know, I don't want to say the greatest high school prospect we've ever seen, but like a top 3 rated
He
high school
was
prospect of all
he
time.
was ranked the number 1 QB prospect of all time coming out of high school.
Since Andrew Luck. Yeah.
He was
So,
the chosen one.
yeah. So like freshman year takes over for like Kelly Bryant or something, beats him out like some senior and balls out. And maybe because he set the bar so high, but in college, not that he like fell off from there, but like it didn't get a ton better. Now maybe the
Yeah.
stats went up obviously because he's playing more games, but like from a watching perspective, like it didn't get a ton better. And like I said, maybe that's just because he was the best damn player besides Joe Burrow, maybe that one year in the league, and he stayed at that pretty much.
Yeah.
But like you see guys like Jaden Daniels, where like they're pretty dog shit at quarterback. They stay around for 5 years and they get really, really good, and then now they're in the NFL and they're still going. It just
Yeah.
seems like
Jane Daniels has
for
literally
8 years
improved
we've just
every
seen,
single week in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence hasn't improved one single fucking day in the NFL.
yeah.
It,
You know
it,
what's killing me about Jaden Daniels though? They're hyping him up. He should be hyped up. Don't get me wrong, but hyping him up for having
wanted him
punted
so
in 2
bad.
weeks,
I wanted him so bad.
haven't punted for 2 weeks, and the week before, all they kicked 7 field goals.
Hey, a dub's a dub. No matter
No,
how
yeah,
you
I
get
just like
it.
there's so many great stats. Why is that the stat? What?
It's low-key
I don't know.
impressive, though. Like, not
It
punting in
is,
two
but
weeks is
it's
low-key
not.
impressive.
You didn't get in the end zone a whole game is actually what happened.
No, but that deep ball to Terry McLaurin, Trevor Lawrence hasn't done anything like that in the 5 years.
Okay, let's settle down.
You know how hard of a throw that is to make? And it's not
That
just
was
because
a
I like...
beautiful throw.
I'm not just hyping up Jane Daniels here because I think he's really good, and I think he will be really good in the future. But
This is leading into our next game. Everyone knows
yeah,
Jaden Daniels beat the Bengals, and I don't think either team punted the whole game. So
no, it didn't. It was the first. It was the first game I think that didn't have a punt in it and scored on every drive since like 1984 or some random shit like that.
which is insane.
It was offensive domination. Redskins defense is terrible. Bengals defense is even worse somehow.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow played phenomenal. Jamar Chase played phenomenal. Jaden Daniels played phenomenal. Terry McLaurin played. This is just offense at its finest, and we haven't had a game like that in the NFL since the Chiefs and the Rams went back and forth like 50-50.
Yeah. And it's besides like hyping up Jane Daniels, it's like I don't know who else to talk about because everyone just kind of went off. And like, I mean, Jamar Chase finally stopped crying, which
You know
CD
what it
would do
was?
that.
I knew this was going to happen. T. Higgins comes back. Jamar Chase balls out.
it also doesn't help you're playing Washington, who has the worst secondary in the history of football.
Like he was gonna do good no matter what. But throwing a 6'6" T. Higgins on the other side of the ball just makes it so you can't just focus on Jamar Chase. Because if Jamar Chase is covered, then they're just gonna throw T. Higgins the ball.
Yeah. So that wraps up week 3. Now to recap, our power rankings, Zach.
Okay.
They didn't do too hot. Let's just say
no.
that.
I also called both
us,
my losses though in the top.
Yep. I guess that doesn't count. Both of us go 2 and 3 of our top 5. Me and Zach obviously both had the Chiefs won, and they both won. Or they didn't both win, but they won.
Yeah.
Second, I had the 49ers. Fat L. Zach had the Texans. Fat L.
Fatter L.
We both had the Bills at 3. Dub. Good job. At 4, I had the Texans. L. Zach had the Saints. Ugly ass L.
Yeah. Hey.
At
okay.
5, I had the Saints. Zach had the Cardinals. L.
L's across the board, fellas. 1 and 3, baby. Chiefs.
So
Chiefs Bills.
With that being said, we've got to reconstruct our power rankings to go 5-0 this week. You think you can do it?
Yep.
I feel good about my 1 through 4.
I feel good about all of them.
Okay, well, let's hear it. Who you got at 1?
I have the Buffalo Bills.
You did it too. I flipped them too.
There's another flip I have coming up. But I thought the Bills, I didn't know what their offense was going to be coming into the year. Let me tell you, Stephon Diggs did not fucking matter in that offense.
Mm-hmm.
All they did was draft Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir. Never heard of him until this year. Dude's pretty good, apparently. He's just like one of those little short route runner guys that can kind of do everything. And Josh Allen is like this fucking close to being the best quarterback in the league. He's like this fucking close. He's so damn good.
And my problem with this is I did the same thing. But this is what we do every year. The Chiefs don't play great. We debate if they aren't as good this year, and then they win and win and win.
I still think they're really good. The difference is that right now the Bills are playing better football than the Kansas City Chiefs, even though they're both 3-0. And I don't think argue a wall if you don't think that's true. Will this change later? It's like, yeah. Will the Chiefs go back up to number 1? Probably. But right now they're just not.
How I think about my power rankings is this coming week, if ranking the odds, the teams beat the dead most average team in the NFL.
Yeah.
And right now, the Bills smoking. They're firing on all cylinders.
I mean, they just
now
curb stomped the fucking Jaguars.
With that being said, I have the Chiefs at 2 because I think the Chiefs will fuck around for a little while and then win. And if they don't, the refs will give it to them. So I can't be wrong.
That's fair. That's fair. At 2, I have the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm not far off. I have them at 3. It's hard. After doing what they just did to the Texans, I had the Texans at 4 last week, and they beat them by like 30. You can't ignore it anymore.
Nope.
Right?
Can't. They are here, and they're here to stay. This is a absolute coaching masterclass out of Minnesota. Kevin O'Connell is a top 3 head coach in the NFL at this point, and I don't think you could argue. It's Andy Reid. Kyle Shanahan always lets me down. But he's McVay. Honestly, I'd probably go right now. I would probably go, I know this isn't the topic conversation here, but I'll probably go Andy Reid, McVay, O'Connell, Shanahan. Probably in that order.
I'm putting Shanahan at 1.
I can't, dude. I can't. And the only reason I can't is because they never, every fucking time.
Please don't say the Super Bowl thing and then put Kevin O'Connell in the same fucking sentence.
No, it's not that. It's just I think Kevin O'Connell is using probably less talent than he had last season, but bringing in Brian Flores and their offense is doing better than it was last season, even when Kirk Cousins was there.
Mm-hmm.
And you incorporate the good defense. It's just a coaching masterclass out in Minnesota. If you're a player, you want to play for the Minnesota fucking Vikings right now.
I have a question for you, Zach.
Oh God.
If you're JJ McCarthy,
Mm-hmm.
how are you feeling right now?
Like my knee hurts.
Oh yeah, but you're just looking ahead to next year. Before the season, you're like, you know what? I basically redshirt this year. Sam Darnold's on a 1-year deal. You know, I'm coming and I'm the guy next year, and it's pretty cut and dry. How's that looking now?
Absolute fucking coin toss. Like
It.
you flip a coin and he's either starting next year or he's not.
I think
JJ McCarthy was I had him higher than Drake May in terms of talent. Maybe not talent, but I had him as the third best QB prospect coming out of last season. And he showed flashes of that in the preseason. But I think he's just so fundamentally sound. But if Sam Darnold's playing like this, but the question, I'll throw this back at you. Do you re-sign Darnold to like a big deal?
if you think O'Connell is the best coach in the NFL, you don't re-sign Darnold, and McCarthy takes this thing to another level. That's where I'm at with this.
Yeah, it's just also, it's kind of hard to be taken to another level right now, given what they're doing. I mean, they just obliterated a great Houston Texans team.
No, I agree. And when I mean, no, I don't even know what I mean by another level, but you're going to put into this firing all cylinders a better quarterback.
Or do you, if Sam Darnold continues to do well and he does well all season, do you sign one? There's either really two options here. One, you re-sign Darnold to like maybe another 1 or 2 year deal if Darnold even takes it, because I'm sure he's probably going to get an offer from somewhere else.
Yes.
And let JJ sit another year, because let's be real, after you tear your ACL, you're not sitting behind a quarterback learning, you're rehabbing. So, like, can he learn some things from Sam Darnold right now? Yeah, it's not like he can practice it. I mean, it's a really good situation to have if you're the Vikings, but it's just like, what do you do?
Let me see some here. All right. So you want to know what? Let's see. You want to know what Sam Darnold's cap hit is this year on a 1-year deal?
That's probably like $3 million or something stupid. It's probably dumb cheap. Yeah, it's stupid cheap.
That's at least going to be multiplied by 5 if he plays anywhere near this. The QB minimum is like 40 currently, maybe 35.
Yeah.
Like, let's see what Geno Smith is on.
His contract isn't as big as like Lawrence or Daniel Jones, which is fucking pathetic.
Well,
because Geno's leagues above both of them right now.
When you draft the guy, you get tied to him, and they get paid.
Because Trevor Lawrence hasn't been... Well, I can say the same thing about Daniel Jones.
Okay, Geno Smith's cap hit this year is 26, but next year is 38.
Ooh, big jump.
Yeah. So
probably ending close to ending his contract.
Yeah, next year I think it's last year.
Yeah, that's probably why it's so damn high.
But like, you're going to pay him 25 to 30, right? And just in my head, you got JJ McCarthy on the rookie $3-5 million cap hit also that you can run with and use 26 to build whatever you want. I mean,
their O-line's good. Aaron Jones looks like Aaron Jones. I mean, they still don't even have Hawkinson back.
You want to hear the case scenario, and this could be an exaggeration, but this is Alex Smith in like his last year who played. He was in the Pro Bowl, I think.
Well,
Mahomes' rookie year, and they said bye.
Yeah.
Not saying J.J. McCarthy is Patrick Mahomes, but no one thought Patrick Mahomes was Patrick Mahomes before either. Like, that's part of the perk of drafting the rookie quarterback is the contract, and you can work with it.
It's just so hard though because you have to think there was 5 first-round quarterbacks taken this year. What team, if any of those teams, because most of the teams that needed a quarterback got one, besides the Browns, which, I mean, they're paying Deshaun Watson a fuckload of guaranteed money, and he's terrible. But what team besides, like, if Andy Dalton does good on the Panthers, do you let him play another year?
No, they don't. Unless, hear me out, you're just trying to get to Arch Manning.
I mean, maybe. But you still got 2 years to go. Or 1 year to go, because this year's a sophomore.
Be Andy Dalton next year. Yeah. Granted. I mean,
if you really want Arch Manning next year, you start Bryce Young for the next 3 years, and you definitely ain't winning a fucking game.
That's kind of my point. It's like
you're definitely not winning a game at that point. But it's like I
don't get the Andy Dalton thing. What do you get for winning? You're getting punished for winning. You need to lose.
Yeah. As a fan and an outsider, you're like, this team's fucking dog shit, throw away the season. But at the same time, like, those players don't want to lose.
I'm not telling the players to lose.
But they're going to, because their team's bad.
Yes, exactly. We try our ass off, and it's not going to be good enough, and that's fine.
Yeah. I just don't know where Andy Dalton goes. I know one team will take him.
But you're talking about what teams need quarterbacks? Giants probably going quarterback. Raiders probably going quarterback.
Definitely going one.
Giants, Raiders, possibly Dolphins, depending on that situation. Probably not, but possibly. Even if Tua comes back, the Dolphins are drafting a quarterback at some point in the draft.
Yeah. It's just...
Or signing a Gardner Minshew-esque next year backup. Like,
honestly, if you're the Vikings, I probably hold on to Sam Darnold for one more year if he plays good this season, or at least try to.
You're going to pay him a backup quarterback $20-some million?
I don't. If Sam Darnold continues to play this good, if you can afford it, let JJ recover this year and let him sit behind him next year if you can.
Nope.
You
got a chance to win.
Yeah. And right now, Sam Darnold's balling out. At the moment, I'm not switching.
You want JJ McCarthy and $25-30 million extra dollars, or Sam Darnold?
I mean, probably JJ McCarthy.
I'd probably take JJ McCarthy.
It's just hard. It's hard to argue. Like, I mean, I didn't know Sam Darnold had the shit in him.
This is all fun and games until Sam Darnold goes and wins the Super Bowl. That changes the conversation.
It does. And, I mean, they have a chance. It's solely based on how he plays, though. Yeah.
Like,
again, you can be the best well-coached team in the world, but if your quarterback fucking sucks, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah. But, like, that dude was a top 3 pick. Like, there were some traits that maybe are finally flashing.
He's younger than Joe Burrow.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I see those things all the time on social
Pretty sure he's
media.
younger than him by like 2 years, too. Pretty sure Sam Darnold's 25 and Joe Burrow's 27.
Right. So Sam Darnold was starting in the NFL before Burrow transferred to LSU.
He couldn't legally buy alcohol, and he was playing in the National fucking Football League.
And then for the Jets, and everyone's surprised when he's a bust.
I mean, to be fair, though, he was really bad. like really, really bad, like worse than Zach Wilson bad.
He was a 20-year-old in the NFL. That came from USC, who always runs these gimmicky ass offenses, even before Lincoln Riley. Like,
Yeah.
it's not an NFL. Anyways,
We spent a
back
long
to
time on that. Okay. Moving
back to
on.
who's your team 3?
The Chiefs.
Okay, so you just bumped them down to 3.
Yeah.
Enough said.
I mean, I think the Bills and Vikings are just playing better football.
Yeah, definitely right
that's-
now. Can't argue it.
That's all there is to say.
What about 4?
You go first. Because I'm going to piss you off, but you go first.
I think I know what you're going to say.
I don't think you do.
I think I do. Because I think what you're going to say is my 5th team.
Okay, who do you have it for?
Because I originally thought it was going to piss you off, but now that you say that, it's the same team. But at 4, I have the Detroit Lions back up. I believe in the talent.
I don't.
And after the last year.
We might have flip-flopped these two teams without knowing.
Yeah.
At 4, I have the Eagles.
No, that's not who I was thinking.
Oh, okay.
Why, though?
I mean, here's the sole reason I have the Eagles at 4.
2 decent wins.
2 decent wins. They beat a good Saints team, even if the Saints aren't like the 40-point-a-game ballers, like I said, was going to end at some point. They're still a good football team. They're still a well-coached football team. It was a close game, and they won. Eagles are quite banged up right now. They lost Lane Johnson. Devontae Smith got his head taken off again. A.J. Brown's hurt. And, I mean, they're still winning. They would be 3-0 if they didn't.
That's what we said last year, and then guess what? Then you weren't winning the close games because you weren't good.
I think now that they have Kellen Moore, they have a new offensive coordinator.
Kellen Moore,
no, he's not, but he's better than
he is so much better than what they had last year. I'll give you that. Like,
so it's like I just feel like once they're more healthy and once they've spent more time in that system and meshing, I think they're fine.
Dude, I don't think you can look that bad and be fine. Could they get it turned around? Absolutely.
It's the talent too. Like Saquon Barkley is. I told you, word for word.
But outside of Saquon, that team is the same.
Yeah, but they still have a good O-line, good offensive weapons, top 10 quarterback, debatably, probably top 10 quarterback.
And they weren't close to doing anything in the playoffs last year. Like,
no, but
Saquon's elite. Don't get me wrong.
You also see what their offense looked like firing on relatively all cylinders versus the Packers in Brazil when they dropped like 30 fucking points.
But like it was still just like a sloppy game. Like,
It was also sloppy because Jalen Hurts has been a little turnover happy.
Well, that's part of it. I mean, anyways, not going to argue with it any longer. Going to my 5th team.
Okay.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
I don't hate it, but I do think they're frauds.
And let me tell you why.
I respect it.
They have the best defense in the National Football League. That's pretty good for me, honestly.
That's the argument. That's all you need.
That's close, right? That's close. And when you have a guy like TJ Watt, like I was kind of saying earlier, like he can single-handedly win them football games. Single-handedly. Now, I will say they leave a lot to be desired on offense. Why can I not get to where I want to get? There we go. Do you want to hear their schedule the rest of the year, Zach?
Yeah.
The Indianapolis Colts. Yeah. Average. The Dallas Cowboys. Average. Interesting game, though.
Yeah.
Raiders. Ass.
Yeah.
Jets are average to above average, maybe. We'll see.
Defense above average. Offense very slightly above average.
Giants.
Dog shit.
Commanders.
Defense dog shit. Offense is.
Yeah, but I think they'll shut them down pretty easily with that defense.
Yeah. That's Jane
Ravens.
Daniels' true test right there.
They get the Ravens twice in the division. Obviously, that's a difficult game.
Yeah, no matter what.
Browns booty. Bengals right now can't stop a freaking nosebleed.
No.
Browns again. The Eagles, who haven't looked great.
No.
Chiefs hard game, and then back to the Bengals again. It just seems like such a manageable schedule.
Yeah. I mean, and their offense is good enough to like keep them slightly winning the whole game. I mean, the Steelers do have like a very manageable schedule. Their offense is good enough to keep them like winning games, but their offensive ceiling is like 24 points in a game. It's kind of the most you're even potentially going to get out of that. So,
and that's enough to win by freaking 14 for them.
Yeah, because their defense is so damn good.
That was my reasoning. Who's your 5?
The Detroit Lions.
Okay.
For the same reasons you said.
Relatively similar list. You just threw the Eagles in there, and I threw the Steelers.
Yeah.
Fair. I do think that's one of those things where I think the Eagles are better than the Steelers, to be honest. So maybe my power ranking is flawed.
Yeah.
But I think the Steelers might win.
I mean, I low-key think the Lions are better than the Eagles, but honestly,
yeah,
I feel like the Eagles is not great as they've played. I feel like have low-key looked better than the Lions.
I will say Lions beating the Rams when they were like mostly healthy is the best win the two teams have.
Yeah. Eagles beating a healthy Packers team is kind of tough, though. Granted, it was in Brazil, but same difference.
Yep. All right, Zach. Who is your underdog of the week? You can explain that too.
This was your idea, bud. Out.
Okay.
I don't know.
Zach, new thing we're doing this week. Underdog of the week, right? So we personally will pick a team that is obviously an underdog this week.
Let me look at the teams real quick.
Every team or every point that they win by is a point you get.
Okay.
Anything in the plus spread, right? 0 points, whatever.
Okay.
Any point, let's say you take the Panthers plus 4.5 and they lose by 6, you get minus 2 points. Because it's 2 points under the spread.
Okay.
If you take the Panthers and they win by 2, you get 2 points because it's 2 points over the win. So on. With that being said, Zach, who's your underdog of the week? Or do you want me to go first?
I am scrolling through all of the... Oh. I have 2 options. You go first.
The New York Football Giants. You want to hear why? I know you want to hear why.
I'm going to discard all your reasoning because of a stat that I learned the other day.
Because Dallas doesn't lose to the Giants?
No, Dak Prescott doesn't lose to the Giants.
I don't think he ever has. Maybe once.
He's lost to them twice. Once in 2016, once in 2017, and then has won every single game since then.
And one of those games, I'm pretty sure, is the game he snapped his leg in. The team ended up losing.
Yep.
Anyways, I'm going to tell you why. Dallas's offensive line sucks. The New York Giants defensive line consists of Dexter Lawrence, who is the best defensive tackle in the NFL.
And
Brian Burns, elite off the edge, and Thibodeau, overhyped, whatever.
He's still good,
He'll
though.
Probably eat against, yeah, like he's good. Okay. Secondary is buns.
Yeah.
Noted.
Both teams, to be honest.
No,
Dallas is better, but like Giants secondary is bad.
Dallas's secondary is Diggs, who has played like trash, and a rookie who has definitely played like trash. And the rookie is game time decision. If he's out, we're going to be playing Andrew Booth, and Dayball is going to have a day with that.
Yeah.
The only way I see Dallas winning is if they can, in their formula forever, get up early and get after the passer. That's it.
So I have two underdogs, but the one I'm going to go with is the Rams are projected to lose to the Bears.
Are you looking at this right?
Yeah. The Rams are
They are
plus
plus
two and a
plus two
half.
and a half.
Um,
Wow, that's a good one.
I Now this is probably an absolute fucking trap game for me,
Mm-hmm.
but I like Caleb Williams. I think he'll be good. They need to get better coaching because their coaching is horrendous. But I, even with the Rams banged up, I mean, they just came back and beat one of the best teams in football. It's like, well, I definitely don't think they lose to the Chicago Bears, who just lost to the Colts, who have not played well all season.
Yeah, that's probably the side I would lean. I will say,
I think it'll be close, like sports books project and whatnot, but
mm-hmm.
I think the Rams win that game, maybe by like a field goal or like maybe like 7 points or something.
Mm-hmm. Let's get into the games for this week, Zach. Thursday night,
Mm-hmm.
previously slightly discussed, the Dallas Cowboys at the New York Giants. I told you my analysis already.
If we are taking this, if we're doing betting standards, I'm not taking the Dallas points, but I am taking the Dallas money line. I think they win this game. Dak Prescott has just beat the Giants time and time again. Don't see really a reason why that changes, considering Cowboys are basically the same team they've had for the past since Lamb came into the NFL. So,
And I will say part of my reasoning for picking the Giants is out of want. I need the Giants to win. I think Jerry will explode if the Giants win on prime time for the
probably.
first time in however long you said. Moving
Yep.
on. 1 o'clock Saturday slate. Bengals are 4.5 favorites at the Carolina Panthers.
I also want to say the Bengals, I'm pretty sure, have been favored in every fucking game and have lost every fucking game.
No shot they were favored against the Chiefs, were they?
They
In
might not have
Kansas
been, but it
City.
was close. It
Yeah.
was like one of those like 1.5, 2 point spreads, something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I will be picking Cincinnati.
I think they get their first win. Carolina's just, granted, Andy Dalton making that offense look decent, and the Bengals defense is horrific, but the Bengals offense can only play that good and only lose so many games.
That's fair. And I don't think Carolina's a team that's going to keep up. Now,
This also feels like a trap game. I would not be taking the points. I'm taking the straight up winner here.
that's my thing, though. If you're the Bengals and you're 0-3, like, you can't have a trap game. Like,
Yeah,
you got to be locked in.
Yeah.
Like, you go 0-4, you're done.
you're toast. Zach Taylor, he needs to be fired anyway, but like he definitely gets fired if they don't do anything this year.
Another ugly game. The Denver Broncos plus 7.5 versus the New York Jets. This is Nathaniel Hackett's yearly revenge game. If you remember that story.
So I'm probably going to regret this just the same way I said about the Broncos last week, or the Bucks last week. Give me the Packers by 1 million.
Well, the Packers aren't playing.
They're Jets by 1 million. Sorry. Give me the Jets
Aaron
by
Rodgers,
a fucking million.
Packers. I see the confusion there. Yeah, I'm going to take the Jets pretty easily. I think this is one of those games where if the Broncos win this one, then you might actually be considering what the hell is going on with the water in Denver.
Yeah. Something's
fishy
weird.
Somebody's betting. Moving on. Divisional rivals. The Saints plus 2.5 at the Falcons. This is interesting.
This is interesting. And I don't really know who to take here.
I don't either. I'm
coming off the performance that the Falcons just had against one of the best teams in the NFL. Granted, the Saints are damn good too. I think I'd probably take the Falcons here.
I think I'm gonna go New Orleans, and maybe I'm just being skewed, and Dallas is really that bad. That's my only.
If New Orleans lose this week, we know exactly who they are.
Yeah, they are who we thought they were.
Yeah. Like, better than we thought they were going to be, but still, like, that range of team.
Yeah.
I think the Falcons, beside week 1, they didn't look great. Week 2, they looked fine. Last week, they looked great. They probably win that game without the PI. So it's like, and the Chiefs have a better defense than the Saints do. So so do the Eagles. Yeah. So, I mean, I think it'll be a close game, but I do think the Falcons win.
Okay, moving on. Vikings plus 2.5 at Green Bay. Give me Sam Darnold. I'm on the train now.
Give me the Vikings here.
I'm sure as soon as we hop on this train, it also probably Jordan Love's probably back this week.
I mean, he could have been back last week, but
yeah. I mean, this is a divisional game. Like, if there's any chance he can go, he's gonna go.
He's gonna go, yeah.
And I do think this is gonna be a fun game.
I do. This is probably a game of the week.
Yeah, there's a good chance of that.
Squeaky toy.
I'm assuming you can hear that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Moving on. The Jacksonville Jaguars plus 6.5 at the Houston Texans. Give me the Texans. They're pissed after last week, and I get the Jaguars are pretty pissed after last week too, but they're probably more defeated than pissed. Because they know they suck.
Give me the Texans by a gazillion.
That's kind of where I'm at. Until I see it again from Trevor,
He hasn't won a regular season game since last fucking November. He hasn't won a game since last November.
Yeah.
It's almost November this year.
Trevor. Next game. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Colts. Steelers are favored by 1.5. Give me Pittsburgh. I have them in my top 5.
Yeah.
Clearly, I think they should beat the Colts.
I mean, if the Bears were giving Anthony Richardson fits, yeah, we're on the same page here. Steelers.
That's exactly what I thought. Us being on the same page is bad for business. Moving on. Rams plus 2.5 against the Bears.
Again, this is my pick of the week. I think the Rams win here.
And I might just fade you because I'm more of a believer in Caleb Williams than everyone else. And I see the growth. Now, we can't be calling 55 passes, okay? That needs to probably be cut close to half. But
a good 30.
Give me the Bears.
I think this is just going to be Sean McVay versus Matt Eberflus, and I think Sean McVay comes out on top here.
That's very fucking fair. I didn't even consider that. I already picked the Bears. Go Bears. Next, we have a rematch from last year's playoffs. Philadelphia Eagles 1.5-point favorites against the Bucks. Who you going?
This is tough.
And I know who you're going. You put the Eagles in your top 5.
I did, but like, if we ignore what the Buccaneers just fucking did in Denver, which you kind of can't, but like you can to an extent, like Bucks did just beat the Lions, who I have at number 5. Like, you can be high in the power rankings and still lose. Like, this is tough. If you don't have Devontae Smith, but if you don't have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, or Lane Johnson, I'm almost positive I think the Bucks win this game. Like, they're just so hurt.
And that's my exact thought process, was that these two teams fully healthy, like, I'd probably go Eagles, but
they're just so hurt.
And if the Bucks just play a slightly competitive game last week, I'd go definitely Bucks.
Yeah.
They just look so bad. It's a bad team that
If they play good
And
last
that's
week,
probably
they're in the top 5 power rankings wise.
Yep, that's for sure. Moving on. Your New England Patriots plus 10.5 at
We're
San
getting fucking
Francisco.
obliterated.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe take the points, but
Maybe take New England 10.5, but like we're losing this game. We're not winning.
yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
I will probably not be watching this game because I'm pretty sure I
That's
know
probably
the outcome.
That is probably smart. Moving on to these are your teams. The Washington Commanders plus 3.5 at Arizona.
This, I do think the Cardinals win this game, but like the week 1 we saw Cliff Kingsbury. Week 2 we saw Cliff Kingsbury trusting Jaden Daniels more, and week 3 we saw this shit and basically run to perfection. Yeah, I mean, if you're the Redskins, you couldn't have played a better game offensively than that. Jaden Daniels had 2 incompletions. He had more touchdowns than incompletions. That's nuts.
That's what making it hard for me is the week before, Kyler did the same damn thing with just a perfect game.
I just think the Cardinals are a better team.
That's kind of where I am. I think the Cardinals have
not taking the points.
Brian Robinson.
I'm taking that. This is a straight up. It's a 50-50 shot, honestly. Maybe 51-49. Yeah, probably.
I'm probably with you on the Cardinals too. Moving on. Chiefs at the Chargers minus 7.5. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Not taking the points, but I am taking the Chiefs.
And this is probably one of those games they should probably kill the Chargers that they just fuck around for too long in.
It depends on if Herbert plays.
That's also a great point. I mean, if he doesn't play, this dog.
I mean, if Herbert plays, this is a much closer game. If Taylor Heineke plays, I'm pretty certain the Chiefs line is going to shoot up to about 10.5, 11.5. I mean, this all depends on if Herbert plays. If Herbert plays, it's a closer game, definitely. And the Chiefs haven't looked great, and the Chargers have looked pretty good. It's one of those where Herbert and Mahomes always play each other really well. But if Herbert doesn't play, I mean, this is the Chiefs game to lose. So
yeah, for sure. Moving on. I call this the shit bowl, aka a toilet bowl.
Yeah.
You got the Cleveland Browns plus 1.5 against the Raiders, and I have no earthly idea who I want to take.
Deshaun's looked bad. The Raiders have looked bad. The Browns have looked bad.
Panthers.
I think the Browns win this game.
I am too. You want to hear my logic? Raiders lose to Panthers. Browns looked competitive against Giants.
Yep, it's good enough for me.
That's all I got.
Shit show the week.
If you're betting on that game, like I don't know what to tell you.
Like
you got problems.
That's just shit wrapped in more shit. I mean,
yeah,
it's like a shit sandwich.
Moving on to an actual NFL football game. Buffalo Bills plus 2.5 at the Baltimore Ravens.
How the
Bills
fuck are the Bills not favored to win this game?
I mean, I guess they probably give 2.5 points for home field advantage, so it's probably like close to just pick them.
I think the Bills are the best team in the NFL right now, and I think Lamar and the Ravens are frauds. Bills win this game.
I'm not going to say they're frauds, but the Bills have looked perfect, and this is going to be a great Sunday night football game.
Yeah.
I think you're going to learn a lot about both teams. If the Bills come out here and smoke the Ravens, not even smoke, they win, we rightfully put them at 1. If they lose...
And they probably stay there for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, as long as they don't fall apart.
Yeah.
Moving on. Monday night. We got another Monday night doubleheader, Zach.
Fucking stupid, but whatever.
That could be another debate. But anyway, the Tennessee Titans plus 1.5 at the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, God.
I'm taking the Titans.
This is another shit sandwich.
I'm going to take an NFL quarterback. He's a sucky one, but he is an NFL quarterback versus either the worst quarterback in the league or a dude the team signed last week. So
Yeah.
the total, Zach, is at 35.5 right now. So
Yeah, I'm probably taking the Titans. I fucking hate it, but I think I'm taking the Titans.
yeah, I'm glad they put that game on Monday night.
Dude,
I
just
guess
don't
they
even
didn't know
play it at
schools could
all.
be
Just
dead,
give both
but
teams the loss and move on.
yeah. And the final game of the week, the Seattle Seahawks are plus 3.5 at the Lions.
Give me the Lions.
Yeah, I'm the same place. I do think it's interesting. These seem
It'll be a
like
good
two
game.
teams. It seems like two teams that play a very similar style, which always kind of makes the games interesting.
Difference is, I think the Lions' offense is better than Seattle's offense.
The Lions are better at the style.
Yeah, I think that's all it comes down to, really.
I do agree. You might convince me though for the plus 3.5.
I just realized I was talking about best head coaches. I didn't put Brian fucking Dayball in that or not Brian Dayball. Fuckface, pissy face guy. What's his name on the Lions? Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell. He's in the top 5 head.
You named everyone but Dan.
Yeah, Dan Campbell's.
Mr. Bite your kneecaps off himself.
Yep. Love Dan Campbell. Dude's a goat.
I don't know if I could put him in like the best just because he doesn't call plays, but not that he's bad. Just if I'm hiring a team, give me the guy that's really good at calling plays.
Yeah. But he's a motivator.
Right.
He will get your team ready to fight a war for you.
I will say that's what Dallas needs. Is
He'd be a hell of a drill sergeant.
Dallas needs that culture change, and
yeah,
that would do it.
Yeah.
But that wraps up week 4. I'm not as hyped for this one.
No. This also, pretty sure this wraps up our podcast, right?
It does. Pretty
Yeah.
much. I was just looking through, though, like games I'm hyped about. Bills, Ravens.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Commanders, Cardinals.
And the other one we mentioned.
Vikings, Packers.
That was it.
Saints, Falcons. There's a couple.
There's a couple good games.
Like last week, there were some big-time games.
Yeah. But
make sure everyone tunes into Thursday night to watch the Giants beat the dog piss out of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, on that note, thank everyone for watching. If you're enjoying, like, comment, subscribe, turn on those post noties so you can watch all the podcasts, all the videos, all the shorts that are coming soon. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.